Hey Taurus sisters, it's Amy K. In this video, we're going to talk about paper supplies for your feast parties as the fall feasts come up. And so we'll go through that. I'll teach you some ways to save money, give you some out-of-the-box ideas, just things to get us thinking. But first, I want to remind you that in the store, I have these feast posters for the fall feast. One for Yom Teruah, a poster for Yom Kippur, a poster for Sukkot, and a poster for the last great day. I will ship these to your house. This is what they look like. I have it as a printable too, but if you want them big and printed, I will mail these to your house. You can decorate your home or your congregation meeting place with those posters. All right, so let's talk about ways to save money on all the paper supplies that you ladies are buying when you're hosting a large event. Especially I think about as the fall feasts approach, not Yom Kippur, but Teruah, and especially Sukkot, when there's lots of shared meals, lots of potlucks, and the hostess is often providing all the paper plates, the plasticware, the cups, all that kind of stuff. And the way the economy is going, that stuff is just going up in price. And it's been a long time since I talked about this, so let's do it now and recap some ways to save money and some out-of-the-box thinking and ideas, because this can become burdensome and it might be important to reevaluate what is the best use of the limited funds that you have for this kind of thing. Okay, the first thing I want to point out are the difference between a bowl, a paper bowl, and this. I call this a boat, but most places, their websites, the stores will call it a food tray. This is half the price of this. I looked it up on Sam's Club this morning, and granted it might be a little bit cheaper in the store, but online this is about 6 cents. This is 3 cents, half the price. Now, this will not work for really wet things. If you're serving soup, chili, or a stew, you're gonna want the bowl for sure. But a lot of other foods can go into this. For example, even a salad can go into a boat just fine. The salad dressing is not going to make a mess through the bottom in the few minutes that it takes someone to eat their salad. Another thing that this is great for is, the children who will go up and they just get a few pretzels and a few carrot sticks. And I see them, they often grab a bowl because they think it's the best because it's just a small amount, and this is technically the smallest thing to put a small amount of food in. So I think the kids are trying to be helpful by grabbing a bowl for their little snack, but this is probably the most expensive option. Paper plates are usually cheaper than the bowl. Now, this is even cheaper and probably the best option for those children going up and getting a little snack, or for the grown-up who's going up just to get a little bit of seconds or something and they already threw away their plate. At 3 cents each, these hold a lot and they are much cheaper. So consider training the children and your congregation to save these only for the really soupy, wet stuff, and to use these as even desserts. These are great to just put at the dessert counter. Much cheaper than a bowl. Now, certain paper plates still might be cheaper, but sometimes this is a great option. So again, these are called food trays. You can get them at Sam's Club if you're shopping online for these on Sam's Club. Look in the restaurant supply part of their website. You won't find these with the regular household disposable products. These are in the restaurant supply. They come in a couple different sizes on Sam's Club. Another place you can buy these is at Gordon Food Service. Now, Gordon Food Service is a restaurant supply store, but anybody can shop there. I shop at my local Gordon Food Service all the time. Not all the time, but sometimes, whenever I want. You don't need to buy a membership. You don't have to own a restaurant. You can get it like an account with your nonprofit if you have a nonprofit or your business. I don't know that it saves you any money, but you can ask them about that. And they have food trays in multiple sizes, 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound. I think I've even seen a 5 pound food tray at Gordon Food Service, and those are huge. I think this is the 2 pound, maybe 3, and this works great for the events that I host. So that's an option. And then let's talk about paper plates really quick. These sort of coated, sturdy paper plates are really popular at the events that I go to. They hold a lot, and with the coating, the wet stuff takes a while to soak through. These are pricey. You would want, I think, if if you're starting to want to conserve and save money, you might want to save these for the main meal, but then put something else, you know, for the desserts and things like that. The boats, or do you remember just good old paper, regular paper plates? You know, most of my growing up, they didn't have these fancy paper plates. It was just these guys, you know, the ones that you kind of have to pull them apart like that. This is also a great option for snack time or the dessert table, or even seconds when they're not getting as much food. So don't forget about these. Another out-of-the-box idea for these is, okay, so I grew up Baptist, and the Baptists were pretty good at their potlucks. And I remember my mom had these baskets, and you can still get these. It was like a wicker basket that was just the right size for a paper plate to sit into, because there is a problem with these. They get floppy, right? Even for adults, they bend and stuff. Think about the children. So the moms had these wicker baskets that she would give us a basket, give us a plate, punch the plate down to stay in the basket, and that's how we went through the food line and carried our food around. Toss the plate, keep the basket, and use those again and again. So she had enough for the whole family. So that is an option. I did look on Amazon. They do still sell those baskets. They make them now in plastic or the wicker, and in all different colors and funness. And any Amazon link, I will put links in the description to all kinds of this stuff on Amazon. And when you buy from an Amazon link, I get affiliate commissions for that. So thank you for supporting Taurus Sisters. But you might find those wicker baskets. I sometimes see them at garage sales and maybe a thrift store. So here's another out-of-the-box idea along the same lines as the reusable wicker baskets. Is they make these baskets that are kind of shaped like boats. They're plastic. And then you get a paper liner and I don't have them, but you get a paper liner that you put inside the plastic basket. The food goes on top of the paper liner. And then when the meal is done, you throw away the paper liner, and the plastic boat gets used again and again and again. And sometimes I'm sure you have to wash it. No big deal. But that can greatly cut down your cost, because I looked up the cost of those paper liners on Amazon are less than 2 cents each. Now, again, you have to be kind of careful what you put in there. I mean, picture a diner. I picture a diner with the baskets in the liner and like a cheeseburger and fries in it or something like that. So, but that can be an option depending on what you're serving. You know, if you're serving potato salad and sandwiches for your Shabbat, then that could actually work. And it could certainly work probably for desserts or snacks and things like that. So again, an out-of-the-box idea. Think about things that you can reuse and just put a liner in. Now, I'm looking at my notes here to make sure I don't forget something. Another out-of-the-box idea is brown paper sacks for popcorn. A lot of times at Sukkot, I make bunches of popcorn for everyone. I say for the kids, but it's for everyone. And I have found that brown paper sacks are a great way for people to take their popcorn with them, carry it around. I used to use these, but you can only fit so much popcorn in these, and the kids would always come back for more. So now I give them a paper sack, and it's much more portable. It's not as likely for them to dump it out and lose all the popcorn that I just gave them. So brown paper bags, and again, you can buy those at Sam's Club pretty cheap. And think about other things that you could put inside a brown paper sack too. Another idea for saving money is, you know, everything in America nowadays is supersize. And I have in front of me here my Sabbath basket that my family uses. And so many places now we get these size cups or bigger. This is actually smaller than a lot of events I've even hosted in the past. And we think that I want to challenge us that we don't have to supersize everything. When I was growing up, we went to many a potluck very happily with, I don't even have any here, but like a 6 or an 8 ounce cup. I think this is a 12 ounce cup. So I think we give everyone big cups out of a heart of hospitality. It's not wrong to go above and beyond if you have the budget for it. But then we think, well, people don't have to come up for a refill. And what I want to throw out there is people don't mind coming up for a refill. If you offer them a smaller cup and all they have to do is get out of their seat and refill it when they're thirsty again, they don't mind. And that might save you a lot of money instead of buying the giant plastic cups that just get used once or twice and then thrown away. So that's an option. Again, thinking outside the box. We're used to always doing it one way with the abundance of funds that we often have as Americans, but we can do things different ways. We can think outside the box. Another, as far as plasticware, that's a tough one. I can't think of a great way to save on plasticware. You get what you pay for with plasticware for sure. The Dollar Tree plasticware, I don't like at all. But I have a hard, if you have ideas on how to save on plasticware other than to buy the 500 packs that come from Costco or Sam's Club, I found that's the cheapest way. Buy a box of 500. They come in a box of 500 knives, a box of 500 forks or spoons. And it's an investment, but I have found that they last a long time. Another thing I keep handy always is a marker for those cups. Oh, and back to the drinking cups. What you don't want, of course, is for people to get a new cup every time they're thirsty. And the children are notorious for that. Mostly, I think, well, the two reasons. Number one reason, they forget where they put their cup. Number two, actually three reasons. Number two, they then don't know which cup is theirs. Number three, they're lazy. So I think with some training, we can help the children and some of the adults in our congregations to overcome those things. A lot of times when I host a party, right next to the drinking station, I get a big tray, like a big food service tray, and that's where the children keep their cups. They keep it right there next to the drinks, and that's like a designated space for cups, and right on it, I have 2 permanent markers. They write their name on their cup. Then they're not going to lose it because it's always on that tray, and they know whose is whose. And I tell them you can only get 1 cup for the whole day, which of course not. If they lose their cup, they can get another cup. But it motivates them to keep track of their cup, and it works really well. So that's another idea, is to provide a space for the cups to be kept. And then it kind of actually keeps your space tidy as well, because you don't have the children leaving their cups all over everywhere. At least the children's cups will be kept in a neat, tidy space. So here is another out of the box thinking. This is very out of the box. Number one, you can buy table service, and by table service, plates, bowls, cups that are reusable, literally washable. One possibility to do this, because then you would want to get it cheap, is Walmart right now has these, I was going to get some, we have some of them, some plastic plates, bowls, and cups that are really, really cheap. They're very affordable. I think they're like 50 cents or $1 each. Now, I have found that they change the colors of those every season, and at the end of the season, they clearance out the old ones, and sometimes they can get as low as, I bought a bunch for 10 cents each. And so I have a tote stored away where I have a bunch of plates, bowls, and cups that I got for 10 cents each. And so if I decide don't want to buy paper products anymore, I have that tote ready to go, and I can still host gatherings. It just means we're going to wash the dishes after Shabbat. And sisters, people have been washing Shabbat dishes for centuries. So again, we don't want to, which is why we love to splurge on the paper, and we're blessed to be able to do that. But if it comes to the point where we really need to save money, then you can buy reusable dishes. And if you don't like plastic, find something else, and you can wash them after Shabbat. Just have some tubs or something to put them in, like bussing tubs, and even a tote will work for that. Let people scrape their plates, put them in a tote, and you can even have water in that tote to let them soak, and then you can take them home, or if it's at your home, you can wash them later. In fact, actually, I really like the idea of a tote with water. Then the sink and the counter aren't cluttered up with all the dirty, stinky plates. So consider buying stuff at a store that you can reuse over and over. Now, the second out-of-the-box idea is to just have people bring their own table service. And this is how my Baptist growing up, this is what we always did. not always. I guess sometimes the church provided these, but I remember all the moms had a basket, like a picnic basket, where they kept supplies for their own family. And a lot of the moms did bring paper products for their family. Some of the moms brought other kinds of reusable stuff that they would then put back in the basket, take home, and wash it. And I have seen this work where the families just bring their own supplies for their own family. Now, a good hostess will also have a stash of supplies for the families that forget or the families that didn't know. There will always be those, or the family that ran out. But what I found happened at an event when we asked people to bring their own table service is the families always had extra, because they would literally bring a basket like this, and this is what I did. And they always had extra. You know, no family is going to use this many plates in one meal. And so if a family forgot, another family shared. And then that took a great burden off the host and hostess to be constantly buying all the paper products and keeping track of inventory on those paper products. And then if something ran out, you really are in a pickle because no one has any supplies. So there's a lot of perks to just letting each family bring their own supplies. I have also found at different events I go to, there are families that already do this. You know, they don't want to eat, well, I won't go into the reasons why, but there are some families are particular about what kind of a surface they eat and drink out of. And so they're already bringing their own table service, especially coffee mugs. I especially see people bringing their own coffee mugs. Another thing is to ask, and I do this when I have events at my own home, I ask people to bring their own water bottle. Everyone has a water bottle these days. It's refillable. And if they don't, no problem. I always have cups for them. But if they bring their own water bottle, especially because I usually host children, I know that that's going to cut down on the waste and the expense a great deal. So another thing you can do is if they're going to have like repeat meals, like at Sukkot, you're going to have a shared meal once or twice a day. You can give the moms a place to keep their little basket. And this is about as big as they need. You know, they can keep it right on their picnic table where their family normally sits. And then throughout the week, they can restock their own basket as they need to. And then they have what their family needs. And the kids learn if they need another bowl, they go ask their mom. If the child needs another cup, they go ask their mommy. And then the mom can keep track and say, I already gave you 3 cups. What do you need another cup for? Go find your other 3 cups. So it gives the parents a chance to have responsibility for their own family and to carry that cost of kids who lose their cups all the time. Another place, if you're going to buy table service for your congregation, so back to that idea of having reusable, washable stuff that you might buy at Walmart. Another place to get that kind of stuff is garage sales. And especially with the table service, you know, think forks, knives, and spoons that are, you know, metal, real. Garage sales and thrift stores can be a great place to buy real silverware. It does not have to match. Another place to look might be Facebook Marketplace. You could search for restaurant silverware. Sometimes I have seen people who host a big fancy wedding or a big event, and then after the event is over, they sell the stuff. Sometimes I've seen, even just very locally, plates, like real dishes, plates, bowls, and real silverware for sale, relatively cheap. It would be a lot to schlep around, and to wash, but it would save money. Another thing along the washing lines is if you're hosting an event at a different location, which a lot of us do, we've outgrown our homes, is to then offer a place for the moms to, not just moms, but the ladies, whatever, to wash their dishes. I remember we always just took them home, but I also went to Sunday church where as soon as the thing is over, everyone left right away. We don't do that. We sit around and talk and fellowship for hours and hours. And so to have those dirty dishes sitting around that long, they might not want to. And a lot of moms are okay with doing some light dishwashing on Shabbat, or at least rinsing. And so if you provide a kitchen sink and some dish soap and some sponges, and maybe, I think you would probably also need some towels so that they can dry their dishes. That could be another way to be hospitable, but not have to go through the cost and the time it takes to do inventory and shop around and buy all the supplies. It's a lot easier to just keep some sponges and some dish towels and dish soap and let the ladies bring their own table service. One of the ladies who hosts a lot of events that I go to was really smart. She bought napkin holders, like restaurant style napkin holders, the kinds, like, again, think a diner where you pull the napkins out, and she buys the napkins that go in it. Again, you can get those at Gordon Food Service, probably also at Sam's and online. I'll link to this stuff below, but again, Amazon is not always the cheapest on this kind of stuff, so shop around. And yeah, people can even bring their own coffee mugs. And that is everything I wanted to say. Now, the cool thing is that all of you are going to have some really great ideas. So please leave comments. Tell me how you host events. How does your congregation do it? What are you doing to save money? And what are you looking at? Give us some tips for saving money on table service at Shabbats and feasts. All right, I will see you guys later. Bye.